Hello, everyone. Jim here from Storm Warning News, and I'd like to share with you a dream I had last night. This was very interesting. Um, being that I've been doing these walk and talks lately, this would fit right in with them. Again, I just want to say up front, this is primarily a news channel, but when these situations occur, walk and talks, dreams, well, I'm going to share them with you. We're going to have a lot of different things going on here going forward, my friends. And I appreciate all of you who have subscribed lately. I thank you so much. Everyone who has requested prayers, you are getting them. Thank you. Now, on to the dream. All right, hang on. That wasn't very good. So the dream started with um, a parking lot of a supermarket, which is right here where I live. It's a supermarket where I sometimes shop. Um, it's a major chain market. And you could tell it was summertime, warm, even right around now, here on May 31st. And it was during a busy time when the store would have a high customer volume, maybe on a Thursday or a Friday, maybe on a Sunday. The parking lot had a lot of vehicles in it, but people were gathered in small groups around the vehicles and they were having conversations. No one was allowed to go inside the supermarket. They were being kept out of the supermarket. And the interesting thing about this was there were groups of people who you would say, be diametrically opposed to each other having civil conversation. And it was though I was there, but I wasn't there. It was though I was hovering, watching it all. For example, I saw a man and a woman having a conversation, and believe me, you could tell by looking at these two that they would be politically unaligned. Okay, they would be two different types of people. This woman would have been very, very liberal. This man would have been very, very conservative. And yet they were having a very civil conversation, almost friendly, because all these people and all these groups in this parking lot, they were united by a concern or a fear. They had a problem. Something had happened. They couldn't get into the grocery store. A few were angry. A few were squawking about it. Why can't I get into the grocery store? But yet there seemed to have been an acceptance that something happened and they weren't allowed into the grocery store. They were being kept out. And they were discussing it in small groups around the vehicles out in the parking lot. For the most part, very civilly. I'm trying to recollect as this went on. There may have been someone that came out of the store to announce to them that they can't come in. Someone dressed in black. Someone dressed in black. And at this grocery store, the staffers sometimes wear, this chain store, black T-shirts with different logos on them. Well, someone dressed in a black T-shirt, black slacks, and a black hat, which is also part of the color scheme of this supermarket, came out and made an announcement to some of them that were closer to the front of the store that they still couldn't go in. And at the same time, these people were concerned about the next thing that was going to happen. It's almost like they all knew that something even more significant was about to happen. And they were discussing it. And I'll repeat, many of these groups of people, you would say they would be diametrically opposed to each other in their belief systems, yet they were having a civil conversation because they were united by a fear or a concern. And I was speechless in this. I couldn't talk to anyone. It was just as though I was observing. Well, then I had a flashback in that dream of a conversation. This would go way back to, I think it was 2002, if I have the year right, when there was a major blackout. You may remember this, all down the east coast of the U.S. It was during the summer, I recall, and the power was out for about 4 hours all the way down the east coast. And at that time, of course, immediately there was a concern that it had been a terrorist attack. I don't know what the cause was later deemed to be, and of course what the elites or the government would deem the cause as may not be the truth anyway, as we know. In this flashback, I was having this conversation with that neighbor again about a blackout. And then I flashed forward again to the parking lot, and I was higher above this time. And normally you can hear the sounds of traffic, you can hear the sounds of birds chirping, like you would hear in my walk and talks, the birds. But there was none of that. There was no traffic moving, there were no birds chirping, and I could tell that it was late in the afternoon into early evening. And I heard a low hum. That's all you could hear. The people were still below me having a conversation, but all I heard was a It was audible, but it wasn't loud, but there was a low hum on the air while everything seemed to have been brought to a standstill. And people were discussing what's happened. Okay, this next thing is going to happen. And again, you could detect from the people fear, anxiety, concern, confusion, and some of them just thought it was a joke, and there was some laughter. What does this all mean? Is this a portend of an upcoming event? Again, the low hum, all the people gathered in groups discussing what happened and what was going to happen. There was a fear, there was a nervousness, there was a concern, there was anticipation of another more significant event coming, and some were making a joke out of it. And again, you had liberals and conservatives talking with each other because they were united. Not in every case, but you had people that their number one concern was what happened, not what you think and what you think. Interesting, eh? I had this dream last night, wanted to share it with you. If you have any ideas what you think it might be, I believe it may have something to do with a significant grid down situation, internet down situation, and perhaps even something more serious than that involving warfare as the next event, possibly even an incoming missile strike here in the U.S., here in this area. And certainly in this area where I live in upstate New York, there are targets. There are targets here. There are military targets here that would be used by a foreign enemy. Wanted to share that with you. Again, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you allowing me to do things here other than just report the news. This is about Christ. This is all about Christ. This is all about the end times. That's what this channel is about. I thank you. God bless you, and I will see you soon.